meta in Ranked and the Pro League is always closely linked with ranked players replicating the SPL in their picks and their builds. But a few characters are massive outliers in this, and Geb is arguably the biggest one. Regardless of the meta, Geb is always top pick and top win rate in support over the last few years, despite getting absolutely zero playtime in the Pro League. There are a couple of reasons for this. The first one being his early game. Geb's early game is notoriously bad with his poor lane clear and jungle clear. In Ranked, having a bad early game isn't great, but it isn't a death sentence, because normal players don't know how to push an early lead to snowball the game out of control, which can lead games to going longer and for you to actually catch up. And players are also less coordinated, so they don't exploit leads as a full team, like getting objectives and towers. While in the SPL, teams can completely control a game from start to finish if they're given an early lead. Another issue for Geb is that supports split a lot less farm in the SPL than in Ranked. This affects Geb more than other supports because he's a scaling support. His shield increases with his level, and his shield is on an 18-second cooldown, so he needs items for that cooldown reduction. There being less splitting delays the part of the game where Geb is actually good, and allows characters that can make an impact earlier and with less resources better in the Pro League. The next issue for Geb is that he's very good into single target damage and crowd control, but these type of characters just aren't picked in the Pro League. Characters like Arachne and Merc, who are great in Ranked, are really picked in Pro Play. This harms Geb's pick rate because they're great matchups for him, because he nullifies exactly what they want to do, to quickly focus one enemy down at a time. If these types of characters ever become higher priority in Pro Play, then so would Geb. Another issue that Geb faces is his crowd control. If you look at his 3 base abilities, only his 2 is good CC. Knockups are the best CC in Smite, but having it as your only CC causes a problem, because all channeling abilities in Smite have knockup immunity. This causes the unique issue for Geb for not being able to interrupt any channeling abilities when they're in their animations. So characters like Heim, Ganesh, Issa, Loki, Quan all have abilities with knockup immunity, whereas other sports have multiple ways of stopping them. Which leads to the final issue that Geb has. Whatever Geb does, other backline supports can do just as well, if not better. If you're picking Geb for his shield, you can then pick Charon, Khepri or Iset, who all can shield, but they can also shield multiple people, and Khepri's is on a passive, and Charon's and Isets are also on a shorter cooldown. If you pick Geb for the cleanse, why not pick Hel instead, who can cleanse multiple people for 1.5 seconds rather than one person for a split second, which is also on a shorter cooldown than Geb's shield. Overall, Geb has a few little issues that are exacerbated in Pro Play, and isn't unique enough in what he does, so other characters get picked over him.